where I'm trying to go today. But mankind is prejudiced. Why are wars fought? Because prejudice of a god, not prejudice of a color. Because in certain countries, it's multiple shades of black, multiple shades of red, multiple shades. It's the god that they worship. The Chinese, another sick race. Sorry, people. Whether you're in the United States, you're trying to be like us. But in China, what they did to the children, the girls, they didn't want to have girls. They allowed them to kill the girls, get rid of them, sell them out to what? You know what? Or they had to pay a fine. I don't even know what the fine is. It was like 25,000 years ago. It might be 50,000 now. Just to keep a daughter if you had a girl. But the Chinese, what they did to Tibet. Here's two countries following Buddhism at different aspects of Buddhism. Tibet was probably the most spiritual place on the planet. Not saying there wasn't killing and everything else going on, because it's going to go on anywhere where there's people that are ignorant. But they created a system, a society, that the Chinese did not agree with. And it's always about power. Who had the highest power? So whoever was the head of their Buddhism versus the head of their Buddhism. And you know the Dalai Lama was the head of Tibetan Buddhism. So luckily he had a psychic work for them, Tibet did, and he's the one that took the Dalai Lama out of Tibet to save his life. Because they went in there to kill him. But recently, over the past 10 years, China has been attacking Tibet in so many different ways. Tibet, the lamas and children were burning themselves in the street, begging for help from a country, any country, because they knew China was trying to take them over. Did anybody give them help? And I'll say this, not that I have any favors about people in politics, because I don't, but Hillary Clinton went to China, begging the head of China to release 1,500 prisoners of Tibet. Nobody else did that. Not the president, not anybody else. The prejudice grows within, not without. Inside the brain, inside the nervous system, becomes accepted and twisted and locked into a pathetic place, which mankind has accepted. When you listen to these speakers that talk about, it's so beautiful because they got a beautiful car and a home and lots of money coming in, taking it away from all the poor people, giving them false hope and false dreams to fantasize and dream about. I mentioned The Secret a week ago, but how that became a serious thing, and a person involved with that ended up killing 4 people, putting 10 people in a hospital. I mean, delusional ideas of what heaven could be, what it might be, to be stoned out on poison gas and think you're going into heaven is pretty pathetic. But without experience, and you're given a little touch of something, and you think you can create the whole reality because you had that little bit in your hand or whatever, is delusional. Who makes judgment calls here anymore? We hire lawyers that actually know that they're working with a guilty person to get them off. It's not about good or bad. It's about money, period. How much money they can make doing it. If judges got paid $10 an hour, how many people would be judges anymore? Why should they get paid big bucks to put somebody that's guilty back out on the street? Our morals are shot. Our ability to judge is not there. Oh, I can't judge. Live by the sick, perverted, twisted rules that are in existence right now. Believe that they're right. Go right ahead. That's called programming, accepting a prejudiced idea. But if that's where you want to go, fine, become that. Become like the ignorant people that are allowing this world to get destroyed every single day. Are you willing to wake up? To go out, smell the roses for real? Well, there's roses out there somewhere. Just got to find them. But are you ready? Or you want to follow somebody's sick, perverted, twisted ego and live out of their judgment of how you're supposed to live? Well, we got a lot of whistleblowers, storytellers coming out of the woodwork, telling us incredible stories. But are they useful? Does anybody judge what they hear, or they just want to accept it? You could accept the idea that aliens are going to come and help you, and wait. And when you think it's going to happen, and you're going to be waking up instead of just waiting. I'm going through my time pretty fast. I'm getting through some of the things I need to talk about. But I just want to go back to the Native Nation for a second. Do you understand how many Native people died and were killed? 500 years ago, there were 50 million Native people on this planet. Now, inside the United States, there's less than 1 million. I'm not talking about people that are half-bred into other parts of different parts of the world, or different groups of tribal people, for a word, but true-blood people. Some tribes don't believe in mixing their color, their tribe, their genes, whatever, their sperm, however you want to word it. Want to keep it solid and real to who they are. But it wasn't like that in the Bible even. So, the scenarios always contradict each other. Because nobody has good judgment. And nobody has the right to judge. Because most people talk about Jesus, have no clue who he was, which I'll challenge anywhere. I'm with my life on the line on that one, anytime. When they say they know Jesus. Whether it's an alien or spiritual, supposedly speaker, I really felt like I wanted to go to church and ask him to speak. I can get into it as loud as they can, and I'll make them stand on their feet at least. Whether they stone me or not would be a different story, but the lies that they're being programmed with on a daily basis, the lies aliens will be programming mankind with, will be another judgment that people are going to have to make. Are they telling us the truth? And the truth about what? You will not get the truth about God any other way than going inside yourself. God does not talk to too many beings, period, whether you were told 1 billion times or 1 trillion times that. Do you think God needs to talk to ants? Do you think God needs to come down here to talk to buffaloes? Do you think God needs to come down here to talk to your sorry ass? Why? What are you? What makes you so good? You pray 10 times a day? Pray 100 times a day? That makes you better than everybody else? Who do you pray to? What do you pray about? To change the world? What are you doing to change the world? We're contradictory in everything we think, say, and do. Why is that? That's why I say you're all super prejudiced. You're all in the wrong state of judgment. Judge yourself. Don't make God do it. You don't need to. Look in the mirror. Am I who I'm supposed to be? Am I doing what I need to do? Are you? Can you? Are you willing to make that happen? Please, I beg you, if you can't listen to me, turn on Deepak Chopra. He's doing a 21-day thing. I can't even write in there. I used to be able to write. I can't get my messages in there, so I'm not going to listen. But listen to him. Oh, just tell yourself you got more energy. Wow, more energy. How about people that are starving to death getting a meal to eat? That's more energy. But that's not what he's talking about. So, pay for something, and he's doing a 21-day that's free, but he wants you to buy everything else along with it. But Are you willing to listen? Are you willing to go through this stuff? Like I said, listen to what I said today. Pull something out of it if you can. If not, it's all lies. That's your choice. But when you're ready, when you are ready to think about going back to heaven and what you're going to do, where you're going to go, then it's time you're going to probably think about what I said to you. But that's the only thing that's important. Not your humdrum life. Because you're going to do it 365 days a year, 700, 800 years? No. 60, 80? Maybe. 100? Maybe. But you're not going to get past 125. Are you going to be smart then? No. When you get old, you're not going to be thinking too much. Not going to be able to pick your arms up or anything much. Well, you want to be perfectly healthy when you're 100? Good. And then what are you going to do? Go out and buy another car and travel the world? What do you expect to become the longer you stay here? I'm expecting to give as much as I can until I leave. Period. That's all I can do. I mean, if any money came my way, I'd be doing a workshop in the United States. It's something that I would love to do before I die. Just to put it there solidly inside the United States. I live there. I live in Jersey City. And I worked there because I thought I was putting good energy into a horrible place. I really thought that. I used to send energy to it and all those things. But it was still one of the worst places around. So, I want to get into something else real fast. Groups of people. And this is all before I go into Jesus, if I can make it in time. Did you ever hear the word Quakers? Well, the Quakers were on the West Coast. East Coast. Turn my head the other way. And they were groups of people living with the land in harmony. They were looking for spirituality, spiritual insight. They believed slavery was totally wrong. Needless to say, slavery was in full bloom at the time. So what was the scenario? Let's judge them. Well, we can't have them judging us. So what do? Kill them all. And that's how judgment works. For people in the army, a country's going to bomb us, let's blow them up. It's judgment calls on what we believe they are. Well, we know if they're spiritual or not, because nobody on this planet is, so it's not too hard to figure that out. Would they do the same to us? Of course they would. And they're going to try. So that doesn't give us much choice. But that word judgment is always there. Prejudice against countries that don't do anything for us. Tibet couldn't give us anything. So what are we going to do for them? Nothing. I mean, when we start getting things from a country, we'll give, like Iraq and all those kind of countries, when we get something from them, we'll give them something. We'll give them what they need. Bombs. Weapons. Really? Is that a spiritual trade at any level? So, prejudice and judgment are in every action you do. Getting back to what I said, smell, taste, and what it looks like and things like that. Well, that's how you base your judgment. Doesn't look right. Doesn't feel right. Well, do you really listen to that? If you're walking in a situation and it feels bad, what do? Wait till something happens and say, I knew this didn't feel right. Or leave. It's learning to listen to soul, which I talk about a lot. Soul tells you the right step to take in the split moment that it's needed. Whether you listen to that or you listen to the mind is your choice. Mankind likes to take the wrong choice always because it's more fun in their ego, I guess. What would it be if I did everything right? Good? Better? But no. That's not where we're going. So after we kill the Quakers out, because they were against slavery. Imagine that. And this computer, I can't get rid of this. Sorry about that.